be.
Well, we got to see if he's still in or not. Everybody tuning in just now, Alex and I are here. We're going to do a recap on the 30-day sobriety challenge that we did.
Yep.
But we're missing somebody. And that person we're missing, his name rhymes with Duke. His name rhymes with Duke.
Rhymes with Duke.
It rhymes with puke, and it's Luke. And he just texted me and said, LOL, oops, like he forgot about it.
And we're already a half hour late.
We're already starting late. So we're going to put him on blast. This is our first live call from
phone call. This is like a real radio station.
What up?
What are you doing?
I just woke up from a nap.
Dang it.
Gage was right for the record.
You still want to come on the pod?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to sleep for 2 hours. Holy shit.
Took one hell of a nap.
Yeah, I went to bed at like 5. I just woke up.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, are you at the Kitch?
Yeah, we're at the Kitch. We're in the basement. If you talk to the nice lady at the front desk, she can give you. Or we're at the same spot we were last time, downstairs.
Oh God. All right. Yeah, I can be there in like 10 minutes.
All right,
that works.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, bye. All right, man.
There we are.
Okay, well, he's going to show up. That's
I'm
good.
glad.
That's good.
Thank you for all of you for hanging in through that phone call. I feel like that dragged on a little bit for a second there.
That was much too long. I didn't need to know how long.
So what
what
were we talking about before? We were talking about
we wrapped up the
HPV. What does HPV stand for?
Human papillomavirus.
What does that do to your body if you're not careful?
I have no idea, Gage. I don't know.
Does it give you hives?
I don't know why.
Does
you
it make you wish?
That was my test 1, 2, 3 word, and now we're talking about it.
And then I had mentioned ALS. I wrote a paper in high school on Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
He has ALS, otherwise known as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Okay.
And it stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Wow, I'm impressed that you could say that.
Yeah, that's one of the 5 big words that I know.
That's 2 of the 5 big words.
So I suppose we can't really talk about the sober thing until Luke gets here.
I think we can.
Or do you think we can?
That's what we're here to talk about. It's not our fault he's late.
We can
start to discuss our thoughts.
We can
and
revisit it, I suppose.
Then he can.
Well, is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into it, I wonder?
I don't know. I think it's great to be back.
On the pod?
Yeah.
We were talking, Alex. This is his 3rd time on the podcast.
Yeah,
most decorated high five.
I do have a lot of high five badges.
Yeah.
But nobody else got badges when they got done? No. This is awkward.
No. So, 3rd time on. Thought it'd be cool to kind of, talk about what happened. Talk about what the hell happened during the 30 days of not drinking at all.
Yeah, and starting a business.
And starting a business.
Stellar for everybody.
Which we better not talk about until Luke gets here. What's new in your life? You got anything new going on?
Let's
hear about it.
I'm starting a new job. That's exciting.
Do you want to talk about it, or would you rather keep it a secret?
I just don't feel like
it's up to you. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
I don't feel like it's that important. Like, it'll get out there. Like, people will find out.
Okay. You got any new pets or anything like that?
No.
Like a new bird, maybe, or
actually,
one
of the
guys. You get a pet chicken?
Unfortunately,
name it Alex.
I shouldn't say unfortunately because he might see this, but
I hope
one of the guys that I live with is gonna be getting a bird. I'm probably less than thrilled about it.
Like a toucan, or what kind of bird is it?
Like a parrot.
Do parrots talk, or is that just?
Oh yeah, you can teach them to talk. Absolutely.
They probably can't say ALS though. Why is he getting a parrot?
Because he wants a parrot. I have a couple guys that live at my house with me. It helps pay the mortgage. I told him when he first moved in, I was like, yeah, you can have pets, just no cats. I don't want any cats. And so bird, I guess, was not out of the question. I probably would rather have him have a leopard or something, but
something more reasonable.
Yeah, he's getting a bird. So
I don't understand why people want birds.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Or even Casey, would you ever want a bird?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you do with it.
What would be your go-to pet?
Do
you have any pets, Casey?
Dogs and cats are cool.
Dogs and cats.
But monkeys.
That's a unique pet.
Almost but you treat it like a human friend.
Did you hear about the lady who got her face tore off by a chimpanzee?
Holy smokes! I had nightmares about that. Have you ever this was probably like 15 years ago.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe not quite that long, but it was between 10 and 15 years ago.
Right.
Did you ever hear the phone call?
A chimpanzee called somebody?
No. So the story, if we're talking about the same story,
the woman who was being attacked.
Right.
Whilst being attacked.
So
made
it was
the phone call.
no, it was her friend. If I'm not mistaken, it was the chimpanzee's owner called the police while the chimpanzee was attacking her friend, and it was like you can not only hear screaming in the background from the lady, but you can also hear like the chimpanzee like grunting and like tearing her face off. I mean, you can't actually hear the sounds of her face being torn off, but you can hear that gave me nightmares. I was probably I bet you I was 12 or 13 years old when this happened, and it is like a terrifying thing to hear, and I was surprised that they had it on YouTube.
They're scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kind of almost feel like, chimpanzees are sort of a lot like humans, so it almost feels like they're breaching your trust. It hurts a little
they're
more.
like 10 times as tough.
I
couldn't rip your face off if I tried.
Well, yeah, probably not. But a chimpanzee could.
Take it back.
A small
Okay,
one. Actually, though,
even
the capuchin monkeys,
this thing was
the smaller ones,
two,
those are
300
actually very
pounds,
dangerous.
maybe bigger. I don't know exactly, but it was.
I don't know what the weight of a chimpanzee is. 300 seems big, doesn't it? That's like a black bear is 300 pounds.
I kind of I wish you have your laptop. Look up the picture of the chimpanzee.
I don't like the downtime that comes with Googling things.
Okay, well, I'll keep talking.
Can you sing me a little song while I Google this?
Okay. I can't believe how quickly we can roll off of a tangent. I was like, yeah, my roommate's getting a bird. Now we're talking about chimpanzees ripping off people's faces.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Well, Casey said he wanted a pet chimpanzee
That's
or a
what I'm
pet
saying.
monkey, I guess.
It's,
Yeah.
to be honest, it's
Set yourself a
scary.
reminder.
I probably would. I could go the rest of my life without listening to it again.
You wouldn't recommend it, or?
You should listen to it.
You should
I'm
listen
gonna
to it once. I mean, I don't know.
For those of you watching and listening to podcasts, check it out. Tell me
Link
what
in
you think.
description.
Link is not going to be in the description. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. Find yourself. Jesus, grow up. I have a weird feeling Luke's going to take longer than 10 minutes.
Oh,
He
yeah,
said
for
10
sure.
minutes, and I'm like,
Like
he lives 11 minutes away.
He had one eye open that entire phone call. He was still in bed. You know what's funny is we talk about a chimpanzee ripping somebody's face off, and now a parrot doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. I still don't get. I don't know. Maybe I do get. I've had gold or beta fish. I've talked about them on the podcast in the past.
But those are kind of whatever. I feel like a bird is
It
like
takes
on
a
the
little
responsibility chart.
Yeah.
You have like pet rock, goldfish,
Right.
and then like parrot,
Maybe plant.
dog,
Plant after rock.
Plant is,
Rock,
okay.
plant,
Yep,
goldfish.
Yep. And then like cat, dog, child.
Baby child, and
Yeah.
then your grandmother.
You think grandmother's more work than the child?
I think it would be a
I
lot
mean, at least
less.
like she's
It would be a lot
experienced.
more unpleasant.
That's
I
true,
would rather
that's true.
change a baby's diaper than an 87-year-old woman named Gladys. I'm
That's-
pretty certain of that.
That's gonna be the title of this video.
So yeah, I think that's definitely the lineup of things.
Wow. Jeez.
People love pets though. I don't know about a bird. It seems strange. It seems like it's gonna want to fly
I
everywhere.
don't know, but everybody.
What if it gets outside? It's gone, right?
What? Yeah, it's like a balloon.
Do you shoot it with a net, or how do you get it down? Seriously, I'll get the bird. I'll get the shotgun.
I have no idea. I've never had a bird run away.
Or maybe it mates with like a
Other
crow
birds.
or something like that.
Holy!
A
Can you
crow
imagine?
keep?
It's like bright green and black. Like, there's a bunch of those flying around.
It just starts picking up cats around the neighborhood or something like that because it's all deranged because it's very unnatural. I was hanging out with a cat this morning. I was showing a house early this morning, and my clients were 15 minutes late, so I was sitting on the couch and hanging out with a cat. Cats are cool. I actually wouldn't mind having a cat, but for a few reasons I don't want one. Number one, I'm allergic, probably the biggest reason.
Yeah.
Second, they love to pee inside, and I know there's so many people, or not so many, I don't have that many watchers, but a lot of people watching this right now who have cats as pets. They're like, well, that's maybe a lot of cats, but my cat goes in the litter box like a good kitty. And I was like, okay, so it never ever goes on the carpet. And they're like, well, every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, weird, didn't see that coming. That's why your house freaking smells like a litter box.
And that is one of the worst smells, is just a house infested with cat urine. That is like, I've like dog pee. I don't know, man, like I got a dog, and
Dog
sometimes
pee
she
is-
pees, and it's like what, like
It's
you
still
can clean
pee,
it up and it's
actually.
gone. But you clean it up and it's gone. Like everybody knows what cat pee smells like because
yeah.
you've smelt it before.
Yep.
So I'm against, like, yeah, sure, like I would be like an uncle to a cat. I would never like adopt my own cat, but I would be like an uncle where I can like hang out with it and like give it back.
Okay.
That's like, I agree, cats are cool, but I don't want to own one.
Yeah, I just like them because it doesn't take a whole lot of responsibility on the part of the owner who has the cat. I don't know. It's,
That's fair.
every once
You
in
can
a
go
while
on a
you're-
week. You can go on a week
Oh,
trip
yeah.
and it doesn't
You can leave
freaking
for 2
eat
weeks.
the couch.
You come back and it'll be stretching like, ugh, didn't even realize you were gone.
Yeah.
Freaking loser.
Yeah, cats
They're
are
always
arrogant.
judging me. They are
Yeah.
arrogant. They're walking around like, maybe I shit on the couch, maybe I don't. Honestly, I don't think you're gonna do anything about it.
Yeah. Oh, look, I threw up on your dresser. Look
And
at
they
this.
get hair everywhere too.
Yeah.
So maybe a hairless cat. That takes away 2 of the 3 things that I have issues with when it comes to cats. But those things are just so damn ugly.
What, cats?
The hairless cats.
Oh, yeah.
They look like, I don't know. It's like if somebody kept a
wouldn't-
nutsack as a pet or something like
Right,
that.
I wouldn't brag about having a hairless cat. I wouldn't.
I got a hairless cat.
They're expensive, and like maybe that's like, no, yeah, I paid
Right.
$2,400 for a cat, but like I wouldn't like show pictures of my hairless cat to other people.
Right.
I don't know.
I think
that's weird.
Egyptians had them though.
Well, and now they're all dead. Not.
That's a good point. Cats are probably doing the same thing back in Egypt too, lounging all over the pyramids,
Okay, not. I should,
Peeing
I,
on the-
you know, I'm gonna retract that.
peeing on
statement.
King Tut's robes.
I-
Told you not to get a cat.
You should have got a bird.
Sorry. Yeah, flies away.
I shouldn't. That was a politically incorrect statement. Not all Egyptians are dead.
I didn't even think about it. You said it. I'm like, yeah, well, duh.
Ancient-
literally
ancient.
the country of Egypt.
Yeah.
For all of my Egyptian listeners, I'm sorry. I didn't. I didn't mean that.
And this was the last time. I
Yeah,
was
we all
on the
know you're better
podcast.
than the Chironians listening. So, no hate.
Yeah, the ancient Egyptians are no longer.
There he
but
is.
We're modern.
Yeah. We're in it right now. For everybody who's watching / listening, Luke has entered the building.
Okay.
Casey, did we have a third microphone available?
So this just
Luke,
screwed into
Did it
the
break?
vision thing.
We're doing the split.
so bright down here?
Because we got to have good lighting.
Yeah, is it light brighter than normal? Because both these guys are standing and down. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. This I feel like it's a different light bulb or something.
is dark.
All right.
We're all
well,
set.
You have to move more this way.
For everybody
Get in
listening,
there.
this is how Casey bosses around to make sure
Yeah.
he gets that.
All right. Well,
shot.
our knees are touching. So.
So you two, you get scoot this way.
Which way?
You guys all have to scoot like an inch this way. To the right.
Sorry, you guys have to.
To the
deal with
right?
this.
Maybe one more.
Remember his.
Did you mean right or left?
His right
My
is
right,
different.
my bad.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
One more.
there's no.
I don't have any more inches.
Our legs are touching.
Well, it's your chair.
Cheer.
All right.
Did you take that picture of the lift fridge?
No, I bought it for $1. I was on a website and I bought it for $1.
It's a huge
Okay.
waste of money.
Well, Luke, you've missed a lot of things.
We're in.
Yeah,
wel-
sounds like
welcome,
it. All right.
welcome
We've
to the
talked.
What did I miss?
We talked about pets, how you shouldn't get a chimpanzee because it'll likely rip your face off.
It's happened one time over the course of
Cats
like a
and
century.
Egyptians, and it's been good. But overall, we're here to discuss the 30 days of sobriety.
Yeah.
You're kind
So
of
you guys got right into it.
well. We haven't started that. We were
Yeah,
we were
we
gonna wait
didn't-
for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying you guys got into it with the drinks already.
What do you mean? It's been
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been 2.5 months.
Yeah, we're doing
Well,
the,
you know how
plenty of
they jumped right.
cocktails.
They jumped right into it.
we're doing the recap a little bit late, but
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody listening /
I-
watching is gonna have an issue.
Nobody
with
was on board waiting for the exact 30 days for the recap podcast.
nobody's mad about it.
It's tough. The scheduling was difficult. You know, we ended around Thanksgiving, and then feels like Christmas just lands on your lap after that. And
You know what was great is, so the end of the dry 30, I had 30 days, and then it was my 26th birthday the following day.
Right.
So my quick little thing about that, the hangover that day was one hell of a hangover.
What do you think? It was worse, you think?
I would bet it was worse. I would say so. I definitely stayed in bed until like 10 o'clock. Which, I don't know, maybe that's not how everybody reacts to taking the break, but I would say it was worse.
What do you think, Luke? Your first time getting drunk again after the 30 days? Was the hangover worse?
I don't know that I've been drunk, so I don't really know. I've had
Since the dry 30?
yeah.
You
I've
didn't
drank a
even
few times.
you didn't even get drunk on New Year's?
No. Yeah.
Luke's like hardly awake. Luke woke up from a nap like
just woke up like
14
10
minutes ago.
Honestly,
no,
we're excited to see you though, because I was obviously not going to come.
I made it. No, I think New Year's I probably had 3-4 drinks, and then there was another night. I had a friend in town here. I went out. I think I had like 5 drinks that night. We were on the way to get into it, but then his wife showed up, and then the night was over, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not getting drunk tonight. So I'm trying to think. I don't think I've been.
That's crazy.
I definitely haven't been to a point where I would like wake up hungover, but I've drank enough where I've gotten like tipsy, where I've been like I shouldn't drive. I'm probably legally drunk. And those mornings, I don't necessarily know that I had a really bad hangover. I think I've went to bed early enough, and like even New Year's, I was in bed not long after midnight, and so it was like I probably got enough sleep where if there was any effects of a hangover the next morning, I felt fine.
Yeah.
I lost you pretty quickly on New Year's.
Yeah, right away as soon as we got to the OP.
Yeah, we got to the OP, and Luke and I got drinks, and then I turned around and I couldn't find him. Couldn't find if my life depended on it. And then Jordan Acaro came up to me and he's like, "Hey, Gage, we're going to the Grandma Sports Garden.
I knew that's where you went. See,
Crap.
I haven't talked to him since we got those beers at the
You
OP.
called me and I was on the dance floor at Grandma's. And I was like, "Oh, sorry, Luke."
I knew that was going to happen. So I'll tell you my side. I went to the guy that was DJing there. You couldn't really see because of the lights. The way he had his lights set up, he was like behind him, and I kept being like, "Is that Keith up there?" I couldn't see him. So we were on the dance floor, and I go walk around the back. "Keith, what's up? Happy New Year. How's it going?" Talking to him for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I see Gage down there talking to DeCaro, and then they go scurrying off.
You were watching me the whole time?
No, not the whole time, but at one point I did. I saw you guys talking to each other back and forth, and then you guys were both like nodding, like this nodding look, like, yeah.
We're going.
Let's go to Grandma's. It was a look like that. Like you could see it from like 20 feet away. I could see this look, and I go, there's Gage. I was wondering where he was at. And then I wanted to talk to Jordan. I hadn't seen Jordan in a while, and I see the two of them kind of doing this little, oh yeah. And I'm like, I can tell what's happening, and I could just feel it.
I
didn't know it was Grandma's, but I felt like one of them, especially Jordan, was like, "Hey, let's go to Grandma's. Yeah, let's go get over there." And then the two of them kind of scurried off to the side of the dance floor and made a beeline, and you know how the OP is, right? So you can see like all the way down from where the stage is all the way back. So I see him just walking, I go, he must be leaving. And keep talking to the guy that's DJing, and like 10 minutes later was the countdown, and then I was like, there's no way Gage is still here, but I'll throw him a call. And that must have been the infamous call when you were on the dance floor already, but it wasn't long, because I left there maybe at like 12:20. You know, I had stayed right till after the ball drop. And I was up on the stage that whole time, but I knew right then, I was like, I bet you he left. So I threw one call just to make sure. I didn't want to leave you there. No answer. Then I text, no answer, and I was like, I bet she's at
Did
Grandma's.
you text me? I don't even remember you texting me.
I'm pretty sure there was a text that was sent out.
I'm surprised
like,
I didn't
hey,
text back.
Looks like you left, but bye. Happy New Year. It's good to see you. Enjoy Grandma's.
It's funny from Gage's perspective. Like, you guys get a drink. Luke disappears, and then he doesn't see Luke up until like 10 minutes ago, and like Luke doesn't answer his text messages. Like Luke could have been missing for the last like week and a half. And Gage's just like, well, he's probably just sleeping.
Well, he's probably who knows?
When's the last time you saw Luke?
Yeah. Well, actually,
sure
when we started scheduling this, he sent out the message like, "Hey,
right.
should we do Thursday?" Yeah, I was like, okay. And it's funny, like how many times you have those conversations in life. I get a kick out of them. you don't really end conversations with texting and even like
Right,
Facebook or
it's always
Snapchat.
open,
It's
yeah.
always like an open. You very rarely with people do you ever discontinue a conversation. I think
Whoa.
about that. There's like how many people.
I've never thought about
How many
that.
people do you end a conversation with? When you're in real life, you always end conversation.
hey, bye.
When I
But
leave
you
here,
don't-
I'll say
You don't
bye to
mean
everybody.
bye.
I'll say bye to everybody, not
But-
necessarily
but
wave, but
I
you
see
end
what
it.
you
You know,
mean.
I'll say, hey, see you later, Alex.
Do you ever say bye over text though? Even
No, that's what I'm saying.
You
but
never do.
People used to.
You
remember,
used
like,
to, yeah.
You remember, like, hey, gotta go, like GTG.
Yep, yeah.
Oh my
That was
God.
the thing. Or see you tomorrow, or even like that, like, because we work together. So there's a lot of times where, like, if it'd be back in the day, I'd say things like, hey, good podcast tonight. See you tomorrow, Gage. Or hey, see you.
If you said that to me today, I'd be like,
see
Luke
you
is
at
a
Friday. And
serial
she'd be
killer.
like, what's going on? Yeah. Now it's just middle of the conversation. It doesn't matter what you're saying either. You could be like, oh yeah, you know, my grandpa's in the hospital. Yeah, I got a broken leg. Yeah, my wife broke up with me. Blah blah. And then you might go on to like, you know, ordering your dinner or watching something on TV and just set your phone down.
conversation-
And
it's
you're
a
like,
lot-
wait a minute, this guy
it's-
was talking to me about his wife leaving him. Hey, you know, like, you never know. It's
She's
just,
still leaving you?
there's no end to any conversation.
That's
if it's,
wild.
if
I've
it's,
never thought about that. I've had conversations that have been going for probably the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Not even.
That you've never closed out. You've never.
I'm gonna go through and close all my conversations.
What are you gonna text?
Closing
about?
you know
all
what?
loose ends.
I never said bye in this conversation. Goodbye.
Like you're gonna go through all your Facebook messages ever, like from
Yeah.
like 2011.
Old snaps. Bye.
like the girl that Gage messaged in like 2011. He's like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? She never replied. He's gonna go back and say bye.
Bye.
I did that one. I did that.
Gotta
a few,
close
I,
these loops.
I did that like I did that like a few years ago. I went back to like
Your old
like
messages.
junior high and messaged on my Facebook Messenger, and I looked at like messages where I didn't reply, and I would reply. They would be like, so what'd you do today? And then 8 years go by. I messaged her back like, oh, you know, just a regular day. And then the girl messaged back. She's like, Gage, it's been almost a decade.
You gotta do that. Go back to all the people that
I
you've
did
ghosted.
That, I did that a while ago.
Yeah, it's
Hey, not
so
much.
funny.
Hey, not much. How about you?
Yeah.
This is from 2010, Gage. What the
Yeah,
heck?
exactly. I've had 3 kids since I sent that message.
Not much. How about you?
Yeah.
Well, kids, 2 marriages.
And the other like not necessarily like closing, but like if you wanted to take a break, is that you would like BRB.
Right.
Be right back.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you would like text people that, and like right now, like your phone never leaves your side. But like back in the
Be
day,
right
Oh
back.
my
you would be like, hey, I gotta go watch my grandmother's goat. A
BRB.
Yeah, like what? Like what do you don't take your phone with you?
That's honestly crazy. I've literally never thought about that.
Do you remember when people used to say that in real life?
Now is it?
Oh,
B-
yeah.
BRB.
Yeah, well, like it was like when it was. New.
I say
Like,
RN in real life occasionally. For right now.
Yikes. Or like sometimes I'll say LOL out loud.
Yeah.
Like if somebody says something that's like not that funny, I'll be like, ha, LOL.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody says something not funny, I don't even look at them. I don't laugh. I'm done. 2020 is the year of me. I'm done giving out charity laughs. You say something not. You want me to laugh? Say something funnier. I don't know what you want from me.
It's your
How
fault.
have Tuesday mornings been for you?
Recently?
Yeah, any laughs at that charity stripe?
Are you talking about the sales meetings that we have?
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving them anything.
Oh, am I not? I can talk louder too. Yeah, you freaking mic.
I
hog.
lean in from mic
You
to mic
freaking
when I
mic
talk.
hog.
So
Yeah, I like it.
I'll figure
Both
it
of
out.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go.
No,
Yeah, I feel like if you talk loud enough right in the center, like something will catch you.
Yeah. No, I'm done. Charity laughs. I'm done. You say something. You want me to laugh? I don't.
Yeah, that's
Say
fair.
something funny.
Yeah, no.
Say something funny.
That's all I'm
that's
thinking.
you know that's a good idea. I feel like I do give out a lot of shit. Like sometimes I'll do it like if it's awkward and nobody else is gonna laugh, I'll do it just to make I do it to make the person not feel so bad. But you're right. Why am I doing that?
I love it. I love
I'm not-
awkwardness. I don't know why. I want to
It's-
fill a pool full up of awkwardness and just jump in and do laughs.
I feel like it
freaking love
depends
that.
on like if it's like somebody that I'm good friends with, yeah, F them. You know what? I'm not gonna laugh.
I
But if
like it
it's
with
like-
anybody.
If it's I don't know that person that well, I'm probably gonna I'll give them a charity laugh.
Nah.
No, okay.
No.
All right. Well,
They can go fly
You guys,
kite.
you gotta want to do a dry 30 on the charity laughs.
Just
Let's
stare
yeah,
at him.
Do you think you can make it 30 days without laughing?
No, it's
No way,
impossible.
I agree.
Casey, you think you could do that?
No way.
No, nobody can do that. It's impossible.
I watch too many memes.
Are you a meme guy? I think I've grown. I
Oh.
don't get that I don't think I watch that many memes.
Or like
Not
yeah,
watch
like
'em, but look at 'em.
I don't.
Right.
To be honest, I don't think they're that funny. And this is probably an unpopular opinion, but
Well, you're
I
looking
hate
at the
'em.
wrong memes then.
dude, no, I don't like them.
I think that memes are
I feel like it's
Those
poor.
are so
it's a poor.
2014.
It's a poor form of humor. I feel like they're not witty.
Maybe Casey's too young. He just doesn't understand.
Casey, how old are you? How old are you? Huh?
The
21?
Gen Zers
Okay.
nowadays, they don't get it. They still think memes are funny.
Offended.
Yeah, now he's
Oh.
triggered.
Hey, boomer.
Yeah, oh shit. No, I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
This
Wait a
sucks.
minute.
All right. 30 days.
Wow, we're never gonna talk about the 30 days.
30 days
challenge here.
sobriety. I wonder
Yeah.
how long we've been going. Only like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. What,
30
Gage,
days
I'll-
sober.
No,
Wait,
you
and
should.
are you also going to talk about your businesses that you started?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, I think we'll
I'm
talk
gonna-
about
Don't worry,
all-
I won't let these guys forget.
We'll talk about all aspects of it, I think.
So I want, like, we'll let Gage start. Gage, what are your thoughts? What did you realize? What things? How did you feel during the 30 days?
Hey, are you listening even?
No.
Look, why don't you go back and finish your nap?
Yeah, he wakes
Your
up.
2-hour
wakes
nap.
up from his nap and now
Now he's
you
over
can't
there.
get him off Tinder.
Yeah, it's crazy. You got to keep up.
He's playing Candy Crush down there.
You got to keep up on it. You know, the new matches come in.
I thought he was just showing off his new hat.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah, what is it?
yeah. Bald Man Brewing,
Where is that?
Edina, Eden Prairie,
Oh, nice.
Egan. Sorry, it's close. Knew it started with an E.
Mm.
Somewhere south of here.
Edmonton.
That's
All right.
north.
So,
No, south.
so what are your thoughts, Gage? What do you want to discuss about the 30 days? sober?
Honestly, it was. I think it was actually much easier than I expected it to be. I think it's way easier to go 30 days without touching a drop of alcohol than it is to go 30 days without getting drunk. I think that it's way easier because when you're going sober, let's say
there's
you're
a
at a party and people are like, oh Gage, why aren't you drinking a beer? And I'm like, I'm not drinking right now. I know that, and they like give you respect for it. They're like, oh wow, good for you, good job.
So you're saying like it is.
You say
It
it's
is
easier
easier
to
to
just not drink at all than it is to try drink a little bit.
Yep.
Because that
Well,
means he's an
yeah.
alcoholic and he can't just have one beer. I disagree with that at all. Like, I know people. Well, I mean,
I'm on the
that's
same-
what
I think I'm
most
good.
alcoholics will say is like,
Oh,
you know, if they're no, like you'd say, okay, I can't ever just have one or two. I'm gonna always, you know, go over that edge or go over that
Right.
line, right? That's like the difference. And if you're like, it's easier for me just to flat out not drink at all than it is for me to go somewhere and have one or two beers, and that might be considered a drinking problem.
No.
That's what I would think. If you were like, hey, I can go out and I can never just have one or two. As soon as I have one or two, you know, it's really hard for me to stop going over that waterfall and having 15 drinks and getting drunk. That is textbook the definition of somebody with a drinking problem. Maybe not an alcoholic because they don't have to drink every day. But if you're somebody,
Has this podcast turned into an intervention?
yeah, right. Here's an intervention for you. But no, it's like there's a difference. Like if you're somebody that's like, hey, I drink every day. Well, that's an alcoholic. If you're somebody that's like, I can't just have one or two. Every time I drink, I end up getting drunk or I end up, you know, going over that edge and having too many. That is what I would consider a drinking problem.
I would say for the I guess the difference for myself is I took myself out of the situations where I would normally like go out and like drink a lot. Like I just remove myself entirely from those situations, which normally like if it like I would be like, okay, we'll go out and have some drinks, and if it happens, we go out a little farther. It happens, but I was like. That was one of the things that was like astounding to me is like how many times
Astounding.
you like
I
that
haven't heard that word in a long time.
Good.
I'm astounded by your
You got a
vocabulary, son.
thesaurus over there? He's trying to be all smart. On his
Yeah,
tail.
he's on his thesaurus. Other words for great.
That's the case. That was a
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I did for 30 days. Is I just read the thesaurus.
good one. Not a lot of practice.
I just have never.
But like, how many times I had to like, friends would be like, "Hey, you want to go out and grab a beer?" And like, how many people I had to say like, "No, man, I'm good." And like I said, I just removed myself entirely from those situations, you know, because I didn't want to be pressured. Or I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to feel like, oh yeah, I'm letting these people not letting these people down, but like, I didn't want to have to explain it to everybody. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing this 30-day sober thing, and then if I lose, I got to donate to 3 different charities that. The
Yeah.
poo-haws. And
The poo-haws.
Revisit podcast number 15 to learn about the poo-haws.
The Panhandlers Association of America. Very politically strong group.
I don't know. So I don't know if it was like, I couldn't handle the difference between like having a little bit to drink, and then like going off the wall, other than like I just like removed it entirely. Like I just took myself out of that scenario.
I'm just like I feel like I'm a people pleaser. So like if I'm out with like a couple of guys and we're like, yeah, I know we're having a good time. Come on, Gage, have another drink. And I'm like, all right. And then once I have let's go to Grandma's. Once I have 3 drinks, I mean, it's up to chance whether or not I get drunk at that point.
Yeah, we've talked about this. That's
because
like,
my willpower goes. I mean, it's down the toilet.
Yeah, but that's because you're already like the problem is if you say that like once you're already at 3 drinks, you're already drunk. So you're like you're already like getting tipsy to the point where it's not like a fair assumption. That's like people that like make the decision. Like if you like somebody that's like I'm gonna make the decision on whether I should drive home after I have 3 drinks or 4 drinks, whatever that kind of soft number is for you. It's a terrible idea because what you're saying really is like I'm gonna make this decision once I've already what would be the word? Hindered my decision-making skills. So, like, when people that say that, like, once I will hinder them or whatever, deplete them.
No, hinder.
Yeah, whatever. That's the thesaurus. What's the
Yeah,
good word
exactly.
for it? Does hinder work in that situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hinder.
Hinder them. So that'd be like the same as what
Don't
you're saying.
freaking
Like,
call it
I
like
always
a
feel like
thesaurus
once I get to
again.
3 drinks, it's all I'm a people pleaser. Well, it's like no. Once you get to 3 drinks, that's when your decision making. I don't know, consciousness in your brain just takes a nap, starts to be like, okay, I know where this is going. We're taking the night off. And then you hit that, for you, it might be at that 2nd drink or halfway through that 3rd drink. It's just like, all right, kick the shoes off. We're taking the night off from thinking. So then you say, okay, well, should I really drink tonight? And you're asking your brain that, but your decision-making part of your brain is already got his shoes off, sitting in front of the fireplace saying, Gage, do whatever you want to do tonight.
Just checks out until tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. So it's not a fair, it's really not a fair question when people say, as soon as people start saying, once I get a few drinks, and then they say these things like, I start dancing, or, then I make bad decisions, or, then I get behind the wheel. It's like, well, of course you do, because after that, as soon as you say that, once I made these 3 drinks, anything you're going to say after that is not really a valid decision because you're making it under the influence. So it's like, well, yeah, of course.
So okay, maybe this is where the problem is that we like Gage and I have actually talked about this before. Like there's a limit, like whether it's 3 drinks or whether it's 2 drinks or 4 drinks or whatever.
Depends on what you're drinking.
We've talked
5,
about
6.
it. Like, hey, if I get past the 3rd drink, like it's like game on. We're like we're like pedal to the metal.
All of a sudden, all you can taste in your mouth is thunder. That's all you can taste.
Is that? I mean, is that the problem that we know exactly where it is? Like, Luke, do you have a number? Is it like if you have 4 drinks, like, are you like, all right, we're
all the way in.
Can you
We're going
taste
to-
the thunder
we're going to
after
work.
4 drinks?
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily know that I have a number. I used to think that I did, but I really don't, just because since
so like
doing
if you have 5 drinks, then you're like, all right, you know what? It's time to go home. I'm gonna go home.
Right. So like since doing this 30-day thing, that was when I realized that the number maybe wasn't as low as I thought it was, because there's been so many times like New Year's where I've had 4, maybe 5 drinks, and then it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go home, right? And that just happened a couple weekends ago. Same thing where I think I had 4 drinks that night. So I don't know that there's necessarily a number.
Are you talking about New Year's? Is that your example here?
I'm like other examples. Just pretty much any time that I've drank since the dry 30 days. Okay. I've no matter how many drinks I've had, I've always decided that going home and going to sleep or not drinking the rest of the night was going to be a better decision. I don't know why. So I don't know. Like before, I used to always think that number was similar to what most people say, like 2 or 3. Where I'd be like, oh boy, all right, I'm getting into one tonight. But I don't know. Lately, it hasn't crept in there where I've had those couple, and I'm like, all right, balls to the wall. I guess I'm not tasting the thunder.
So it's
It's an acquired taste.
Okay, so what you're
taste.
saying is that it used to happen. You used to have that.
Yeah, I mean,
now, do you think it's a product of age?
No, I don't think it's. I don't know if maybe that could be one too. That it's age and maybe just the less lure of wanting to go out. Maybe, but I also think that some of it might just be mental, where you just think that. Like how many times I've had 2 drinks, and maybe they haven't really been affecting my body physically, but mentally I'm like, well, I've already had 2 of them.
Might as well.
All right, hey,
Might as well.
get another one over here. And then I have my 3rd one, and, the music starts getting louder in the restaurant, and then they usually dim the lights about that point. They're taking away your leftover food, and all that's sitting there is drinks, and you're like, all right, another one, let's get a 4th. So it might just be mental. It might be a product of just being like, well, I've already had 3, might as well have 4. I'm in one tonight. Where now I look at that situation, and I'm like, oh, do I really want to go out? Nah. My bed seems better, and then I go home. I don't know. I think a lot of this stuff, especially when you start talking about that, like the peak, or not the peak, but that spot where your body's like, okay, there's no, I'm on the road to no return. I want to keep going out and keep drinking. I think those type of things. It's a very bumpy road. I think those type of things have a lot of science behind them, and that science that's way over my head that I don't know, that I don't understand. But I think that there's kind of a scientific edge behind it that is out of my understanding.
Yeah, so that's actually funny that you say that. Like I read something a while back by Jordan.
Dr. Seuss.
No way, those are over my head.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson,
Got
where he was talking about how people who are more prone to alcoholism, they feel on the ascending path of like drinking alcohol. So like as your blood alcohol level is going up, where alcohol is usually a depressant, people that are more prone to it actually feel it as like a stimulant. Like they feel like more awake, they feel more alert.
Lit. The kids call that lit.
Lit. As their blood alcohol level is going up.
Lit.
So this is where like alcoholism stems from, is because you're always like chasing that feeling of like the blood alcohol level going up, and obviously everybody knows, not everybody, most people know there's a certain point where like, okay, this is all you can handle, and you're gonna start throwing up, and you're gonna start freaking talking like a monkey.
That's interesting. I don't know. I think I must be one of the people that whatever, maybe what did you say, the alcoholics catch the
well, and it's he said it,
the energy, because that's how it is. I do get that, where I'm the type of person where like I'm not a smoker, but like I can start drinking, and I start wanting to smoke, start wanting to dance, want to move, want to like I can get really happy drunk. I've never seen alcohol for me as a depressant. I've never been one that likes to drink alone.
Yeah.
I only like to drink if it's around a group of people and it's a party, and I like to drink if there's music around. I like to drink if there's girls around, obviously, but I've never seen alcohol as something like I nice ladies. But I know people that can get drunk by themselves, or like guys that can be like, oh, I went over to my buddy's house and we got drunk in his garage, and I'm always like how is that fun? Like I've never understood the idea of like getting drunk without there being like a party and music and being able to be like, hey, let's crank it up, let's get lit.
And that's what he says is like, it's as you're going up, you start to feel better.
You keep trying to chase that, right?
Yeah, and you're going after that like the ascending feeling. Right. And as you start to like so even if you have, let's say your ascending limit is 3 and you have 5 drinks, if you stop there and you start going down, like that's at the point where like if you're like, okay, I'm done drinking for the night, it starts to go down, and you start to feel like not as social, not as like energized. It starts to like you're like, okay, well I'm
you're
over
trying
this.
to bounce out. I've been
right, and that could be. And I don't think it was. I mean, he said it was a dangerous. It was genetic. It was a dangerous gene to have. It didn't necessarily lead to alcoholism, but it was a good like indicator of like people who could potentially be alcoholics, because once again, it's a very addictive thing to chase that, that good, that high, that feeling of like, the ascending blood alcohol level.
Right. I feel like
we haven't talked about being sober for a freaking minute here.
Yeah, it was good.
Cut.
I do think it's easier to go totally sober than it is to drink, like to not get drunk. Luke says I'm an alcoholic. Jordan Peterson says I'm an alcoholic. So better take it easy, maybe. But I felt so good. Like I felt so good 10 days in. 10 days in, it felt like like the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, where he's like, I feel like my brain was like, I felt like a human being should feel, I think. I am not kidding. I literally think I was seeing colors more vibrantly than I usually do. I was like...
Yeah, see, that's when this is more of the conversation where I think you might have a drinking problem. Because we went to 30 days, and like I was like I said, before this, I mean, I'm a lot older than you are, so before this, it wasn't like I was drinking all the time. Where I was like, okay, yeah, I can go 30 days without drinking. And I told, like, aside from the few times
maybe it's
being
not that abnormal for you.
No, a few times from being out at dinner with people where you know, we were drinking, or we had a work event. I remember right away, like the first weekend of it, and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, you know, your work event, everybody's drinking, and I can't drink. And then obviously a couple dinners, everybody's like, oh, I'm getting a beer. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing a dry 30 with some guys from work. I'll just have a water. Like, those were the only hard times. There was never a time where it was like, oh, I really need a drink, or I really want to drink. And there was never a time where I was like, you know, hey, I'm going to... hey, I feel really different because I haven't been drunk for 10 days. Yeah. And then hearing some of these stories from Gage, I was like, you know, maybe this whole thing of like, hey guys, let's do a dry 30 was like a cry for help. And maybe this was like a bigger thing to him, where he comes into work after going, you know, 7 days without drinking, and he's like, oh my gosh, I never knew how red the sign was outside of the building. And did you see the sun this morning? And oh my gosh, boy, it's really nice to, you know, not throw up in the morning before I brush my teeth, and boy, this is great. I can, you know, really good to be able to drive to work and not have to take a cab to work because I'm still drunk from the night before.
On the way to work, I didn't think about driving in oncoming traffic.
Yeah, you know, all these things. I was really kind of.
I don't know where I am when I wake up.
At the beginning, I thought it might have been just the age difference between us, but as time went on, I said, you know, I think that whole Luke, you want to do a dry 30 with me was more of a cry for help.
That's
so I'm really happy that I was here to be able to help you, Gage. But no, I mean, I didn't. Just because I'm at that point where I don't drink so much, I didn't feel anything really different. It was just like, you know, I don't think that if you go a month where, like, let's say in the last month from like December, all of the month of December, I probably had, you know, 4 maybe 5 drinks the entire time. I don't think cutting that out is something that's going to make a huge difference. Okay. I think maybe if you're drinking like 40 or 50 drinks throughout a month and you take those out.
December was a holiday month. Everybody did a lot of drinking.
You might start
Don't make me feel like I'm alone.
So my 30 days experience is a lot.
It's a lot less.
A lot less, you know.
It was.
Yeah, mild. It's a lot boring, a lot more boring than what Gage's was. You know, I wasn't having all these epiphanies and life changes.
I was like an epiphany tree, and the epiphanies were leaves.
People tell you look good. Did you hear that? You look good. What have you been doing? Your
I don't
face
know that I got
up.
any of that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I got any of that.
Did you lose any weight?
No, I think after that first 10 days, I actually gained 8 pounds.
You're not throwing up every night?
I literally gained.
You're not hugging a toilet anymore?
I gained 8 pounds in the first 10 days, and then I lost like 12 or something like that in the remaining 30.
I would say there was probably definitely, like, I don't know, I might have, maybe I had a little bit more energy. I know that for a fact there were times where I would normally, like, I like to exercise, and like there were days where I was like, well, I'm not going to go out tonight.
So right.
I'll go back to the gym.
I didn't miss a day at the gym.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much were you drinking before? Say like the month before.
Like what?
Not like normally, just the month before, like in
what do you
whatever,
like
October.
Like
about how many times? Yeah, drinks or whatever you want to use for a line. How many times did you go out?
I would probably have at least one drink, 3 to 4 days a week, at least like one beer, and then I would probably like drink heavily like 1 day a week.
Okay.
Right. Where I would like go out and like.
So then that sober month was still it's a pretty big cutoff though from going from not drinking at all and not going out, right?
Yeah. But the difference was like I said, there was a lot of people where I would they would say, hey, you want to go get a beer? Like, hey, we're going to we're gonna go down to the bar. You want to come hang out? And like I said, I would just remove myself from that situation. So instead, probably like a healthy decision, like if it was 7 o'clock at night and my friends were gonna go to the bar and I said, no, I'm not gonna go, I would like go work out, or I would go like read, or I would like make probably a better decision, but it wasn't as social.
Right.
Like it was probably like I would go to the gym by myself, or I would like.
Right.
I definitely spent more time at home than I normally would because, like I said, I just didn't want to. Like I was just like, I'm not gonna subject myself to that situation.
What's like the really interesting thing with alcohol and drinking in general is it's such a social thing that you wonder without like the social aspect of it. I mean, when you drink when you're out with friends or weddings or birthdays or celebrations or you know, it's such a social thing that it's kind of like the social norm. And I think it's funny because I you know, not on an anti-alcohol rant, but I see alcohol as you know as dangerous of a drug as most of the drugs out there that we're taught are really dangerous. I think that what makes it so dangerous is that it's so widely accepted and it's such a social thing that it's like it's the only drug where when you go to a wedding, everybody at the wedding throughout the entire day is going to be talking about how much of this drug they're going to have. Yeah. Hey, at the reception tonight we're going to get drunk and like
exactly.
if you were
they're
again,
giving secret sips to kids in the
use,
corner.
Right, use the example. Use the example that you were an alien. If you came down, there's no other drug in the world. You could go to a wedding and people would be talking about it. Like, oh, hey, afterwards, you know, everybody's going to be hitting their meth down after the reception. Can you wait? People would be like, what did I get myself into? Like, oh my gosh. And then you laugh about it when people, oh, this person was so messed up on that drug. They were falling into tables. There's not another drug in this world that you laugh when somebody falls over or pees their pants or does anything except alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
It's just this drug that we've made where because of the social aspect that you're talking about, where you say, hey, you know, you want to go watch a game, come on down to the bar, we'll sit there. And because we've made it, we've intertwined it with the social aspect of like hanging out, celebrations, alcohol. You put it together. That opened the doors that anything is funny about it. Like, oh, you know what? My uncle gave me a sip of beer when I was 10, and everybody thinks it's funny. Or he said, oh, you know, wedding receptions, you give it to the minors. Yeah. It's funny. If it was any other drug, that would not be funny at all. You'd be like, oh my gosh, you got to call the cops on this guy's uncle. He just smoked up a 10-year-old out behind.
Don't tell your parents I gave you a little bit of cocaine tonight.
He just did a line in the bathroom with my nephew who's, you know, 12 years old. That's not funny at all. That's terrible. But if somebody gave him a beer, people would be like, Uncle Jim, you know, it's kind of funny. So
Uncle Jim.
It's really weird to me with these. Yeah. It's really weird, you know, those type of things with when people say like, oh, it's a social thing of like going out and drinking, where it's like it's only a social thing because society has made it like this wild, hey, this drug is okay to do, and it's actually, you know, we laugh about it. It's kind of funny watching grown men pee their pants or cry or not be able to talk about their emotions, get in fights or fall downstairs. I love you, man. I mean, I love you, man. Like we just find it comical because we've normalized it. We've normalized it and made it a part of a social fabric where there's no other drug. Like, and there's no other drug I look at where I'm like, oh, I need that because to be social. Like I've just trained my body, my mind. I've trained that where like, if I go out for New Year's, I wasn't going to go out for New Year's and just be sober because that's, you know, being social.
That's what little babies do.
That's what little babies do. You have to do it. But at the same time, I would never, for any other drug, I would never think like, oh, I can't go do that podcast unless I smoke up or unless I rip a line or there's no other drug in the world. Even like coffee. I wouldn't be like, oh, I got to have my coffee before I go do that podcast. But like, you could say, oh, well, you know, I'm going to do this podcast. I got to have a couple beers before I do it. Yeah. It's a drug that because we've made it, the social aspect of it has normalized it that you can do it before or after or during just about anything, and you could actually say things like I need to do it, like I can't go out and dance unless I get drunk, like I can't go out and party with my friends unless I get drunk. We've made it where you can it's normal to say like I can't do this unless I have that drug. Well, people go, oh, okay, yeah, sure, here, have one.
And that's the thing is it was weird to people when I would explain like, hey, look, you know, I'm not drinking for 30 days, and they're like, what?
I got a lot of people that were like, oh, I'm doing that, or oh, I did that, or I'm going to do that next month.
Yeah,
I got a lot of that.
5 years ago, I'm still good for you.
Like you said, it's so like normalized compared to everything else. Like nobody's like, oh yeah, did you see that freaking Grandpa Kevin gave Timmy like 2 cigarettes at the wedding? Like nobody. Like it is. It's so normal.
It is normal. We think it's funny when somebody drinks too much alcohol and start puking all over themselves or whatever. It's like, oh, funny, he almost died. Oh, cool. He did so much of something that his body literally pushed it out of it. How great is that? Where I mean, you smoke too much weed, you just go to bed. Like that's pretty much. That's all.
That's pretty much it. Well, it's crazy. I think that's a big part of it. If you get by the social aspect of thinking that you have to drink when you're with your friends makes like the non-drinking part of it a little bit challenging, where you're like, oh, I just won't go out. I'll just go to the gym instead of going out because I know I'm gonna have.
But then you have no friends.
Then you have no friends because it's
a decision. I guess.
You're right. It's such a social aspect.
Where are your priorities at? I don't know. Like, do you want to like be in better shape, or do you want to go hang out? Like, I don't know. I like to hang out with people.
For me, like if I was still going out even once a week, if it would have been when I was your age, I was probably going out at least twice a week. I've always been single, never had any children, don't have a job I have to go to early in the morning. So going out is something that I've always done, and I've always told people that I was way more of a partier than I was a drinker. I'm never one that's like, oh, alcohol, I really like it. Or like I said, I don't drink alone. I don't drink when I'm happy or when I'm sad. I drink when I want to go socialize. So for me, it was like, hey, I want to go out and party. And then it was like, oh, of course I'm going to drink because that's a part of partying. Mm-hmm. But the main goal for me that drove me to go out on a Friday, Saturday, or even a Monday, Tuesday, or anytime during the week, what always drove me was like wanting to go out and meet chicks and hang out with my friends. That was always what drove the drinking. So now that I'm not like, hey, I want to go hang out with my friends at a bar, the cutting out drinking is easy. Like, if somebody told me right now you can't drink for 6 months, I don't think I'd have a problem with it. I think I'd be like, well, I'd want to drink in those 6 months. But I don't think just because my social life has changed, and because of my social life changing, it changed my drinking life, where it was a little different, where it wasn't my drinking life that was leading my social life. It was the social life that just was like, hey, I'm going to go out to the bar on Saturday, I'll probably drink. But you take away the bar, and it's pretty easy not to drink. So that might be the little bit difference between our experiences in this, is that I'm not doing a lot of the social drinking.
They call it like a social lubricant. Like it does become easier to talk to people.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So when you're 21, 22, 23, and you're freaking an awkward monkey, not a chimpanzee.
Jesus, thank God.
When you're an awkward freaking monkey,
thank God.
Like going out and like making friends and like talking to people, you have a couple beers and it's easier to like go. So that I feel like that just becomes ingrained in people's
It does,
mind,
but I think that's like
normalized.
the big thing you said is that it's ingrained in your mind, right? So I think that's a really big thing for people to think about.
It becomes ingrained in society.
But no, I think that's a really big thing to think about. Is when you say like, okay, the ingrained in my mind thing. That's a really, really interesting point where people.
God, don't make me look bad.
No, I'm not going to make you look bad, but people say that a lot. Like the social lubricant, you hear that from a lot of young people. Like, okay, I can't go out to the bar and I can't go out and drink.
Gives guys confidence.
But here's the thing,
hey, what's up, little mama?
If you got over the confidence
I've had about
factor,
4 or 5 G&Ts.
The only thing that it really does is that it doesn't give you confidence. It lowers down your ego. That's like, hey, don't go talk to those girls, Alex, because you're not cute enough. You're gonna look dumb. Yeah. That's your ego that's talking to you. Luckily, when you're
it's inhibitions.
Inhibitions. Luckily, when you're on alcohol, like we talked about before, your inhibitions, the shoes are up. Taking the night off. Says, hey, Alex, you do what you want to do. We're 2 beers in. You go out and do it. Doesn't make you better at talking to girls or more social. It doesn't do anything. It makes you less. No, it doesn't even give you the feeling. It just makes you less chicken shit. Is essentially what it is. There's
not a scientific term, Luke.
No, right. So it lowers your inhibitions. It's not giving you more confidence. Like more confidence to do something is different than not having the bone in your brain that's like, hey, if you jump up on this table might break and you might fall down in front of everybody at this bar. So confidence in like not having inhibitions are two different things.
You just don't care if you fall on your face.
You just don't care. Just same with that. Like if you see a girl across the bar, confidence is a guy that has confidence all the time. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm a good-looking guy. I'm gonna go, take down these 2 girls. And the guy goes and does it. He's got confidence. The guy that's sitting here is drunk and like, oh, watch this. I'm gonna walk over there. Hey, ladies, how are you doing? That guy doesn't have confidence. He just doesn't have the inhibition in his brain that's like, dude, Luke, what are you doing? It's not the illusion of it.
It might be the illusion. I think I agree with that.
Both guys say, I want to go talk to the girl. The one guy that might be completely sober, that doesn't have a drug in his body, that has confidence, that says, you know what? I'm scared to go talk to those 2 girls up at the table, but I'm going to go do it anyway. That's confidence. The guy that's like, hey, I want to go talk to those girls, but I'm probably going to embarrass myself, but stumbles up there and goes and does it anyway, doesn't have confidence. He just doesn't have those preconceived inhibitions because he drank them away.
I agree with you on the fact that the first guy doesn't have confidence because it's not him, but he does have the illusion of confidence. He does think that
maybe
he's able to. Maybe he does think that he's good looking enough. Maybe he does think that like, oh man, that girl looked at me twice. I'm gonna go hit on her now. Like, but it's like the best example I can think of from like, I don't know, like my nutrition background is like, so everybody thinks caffeine gives you energy. Caffeine actually doesn't give you energy. Coffee doesn't give you energy. It inhibits adenosine, which is the hormone that makes you think that you're sleepy, so it gives you the illusion that you're not sleepy. It's like the same thing there.
Right.
That's why people drink coffee, because adenosine is the hormone that makes you feel like groggy, like as you wake up. It inhibits that. So you're not
Had a
necessarily...
lot of that, like, half hour ago.
Well, yeah, because you were freaking sleeping for 3.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not... It's
dreaming about the high
like,
five with
what's
Gage
the-
Hartman.
what's-
Phone's ringing, it's him.
What's the difference in having confidence and having the illusion that you have confidence, or like just, maybe, I don't know. I feel like what's
Because
it's
there's
the same.
you can, just because two ways make you act the same doesn't mean that you have them. That'd be like the same of being like, what's the difference between having money in your bank account or having the illusion of bank account? They're having the illusion of money. They're very
it's the
different
same. I
things.
feel like it's-
Just because one gives you the same
I don't
feelings.
agree with that.
I do. I think that if you have, let's go back to that
course
situation in
you
the
do. They just
bar,
said it.
because I said it. Of course, let's go back to the situation in the bar. If you have one guy that has rock solid confidence, he has confidence. He's a confident guy.
Nice.
For multiple reasons. Maybe because he's in shape, makes a lot of money. Maybe he's a very just a confident guy,
He's
right?
bilingual.
And then there's another guy
Ladies
who's
love a
bilingual.
guy that's
Ladies
bilingual.
love that. And there's another guy that's not at all confident, but because he gets shit-faced, he has that illusion of confidence. You can't tell me that the two of them both of these guys have the same self-esteem and the same confidence as either one of them, because one of them has the illusion of it.
And I'm not saying it's a permanent thing, but like, okay, so let's
Right.
say,
So as long as you say that, they're not the same thing. When you say something has an illusion of something else, then those two things by definition can't be the same. One of them is just an illusion. One of them is actually substance.
If you look at it from like let's look at it like from a math standpoint. So you're taking
Mathematics.
Let's say you're taking two inputs, which is, let's say you got confident guy, and you got non-confident, or like guy who doesn't
Non-confident
have,
drunk guy.
Yeah, so non-confident drunk guy. You take, like, the inputs are the same. All you do is you add one part to this equation for the non-confident drunk guy, which is your alcohol. The output becomes the same. I don't know. I think that makes them similar, but I agree that.
Because if that was the case, then you would just, anytime somebody needed confidence for anything, you'd be like, here, just get drunk or get high or rip a line of cocaine or do whatever. Like, if you just want the illusion, if you just want the illusion of telling your inhibitions to take a break for an afternoon, if all you're doing is going after getting your inhibitions, if you're not going after like real confidence, real self-esteem, real dignity, real pride, all those things, all you want to do is shut up the thing in your brain that says you're not good enough or you can't do this, then all you do is just take your drug of choice or whatever it is that's going to quiet that voice in your head that's going to be like, well, maybe we should take this a little bit slow. If that's your goal, then you're essentially just trying to get your brain in a altered state to the point that...
I think that you're looking at confidence wrong, though. I think your idea of what confidence is off. Confidence is essentially the absence of fear. If you're not afraid, then you're confident. So what does alcohol do? It takes away fear, in which case you have confidence.
Yeah,
so that's because, like, let's say there's someone who, on paper, is not an attractive guy. Maybe he's got, a lazy... Oh, God. I shouldn't. Watch me not describe an unattractive guy. Everybody at home, picture a guy that you think is not hot. There. Frick.
Take out the thing about the thing
that dude, he can still confidently go approach women. He's not confident because he necessarily has a reason to be confident. He's confident because he has no fear in approaching these women. I mean, he could be the ugliest man on the planet. You all at home, picture it yourself. I'm not going to describe it because then I'll be a jerk.
Everybody.
But he can walk up and be like, "Hey, what's up, ladies? How you doing?" They're going to be like, "Whoa, shit, this dude's confident."
Yeah, he doesn't have fear, but it's still not because he took a certain drug or
what does it matter,
drank
though?
a certain
No, but that's what
At
I'm
the
saying. There's
time,
no difference between this
like,
ugly guy who has
point A,
confidence, although he
point
maybe
B.
shouldn't.
So then, okay, so for your
And then a
example,
drunk guy.
let's use this for example. We want to use alcohol.
This is such a dumb
Let's use this. No, we want to use alcohol. So you've heard of the term beer goggles, right? So when you use beer goggles and let's say you have girl A, and I'm not going to describe what she looks like Gage did. Let's just say
Tell me about girl A.
And you've had 17 drinks and you look at her and you're like, oh my God, this girl is the most beautiful girl ever. The next morning you look at her and you're like, okay, she's not beautiful because you don't have those beer goggles on anymore. Can you make that same argument of, oh, well, she was beautiful because I saw her while I was hammered, my preference of what I think beauty is.
That doesn't seem relevant to the conversation.
I don't see. I'm saying that like the confidence thing of whether somebody's confident or not, if they're drunk, is irrelevant.
You know
like,
God, boys, what does it even matter? Like, I guess what are we
All
trying
right,
to?
I don't know.
let's cut this off right here. For those of you at home watching,
I feel like
you freaking decipher it yourselves.
it doesn't
you
matter.
bunch of ugly
it doesn't matter if you're
SOBs.
confident or if you're confident because you've had too many freaking shots of Fireball.
Yeah.
Those two things are the same. Yeah, they might not be the same in the morning, but it doesn't matter. At the time, point A to point B, like it's the same freaking thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you guys started a business.
I didn't. No.
I did.
Yeah, let's talk about your garage sales.
Okay, it was not a garage sale. Well, it was. The name of it was.
So what if nobody remembers what the deal was?
Oh, okay. So for anyone who maybe didn't watch the other episode or doesn't remember, we each had, from starting in that 30 days, we had to start a business, and whoever's business was most profitable. But at the end of those 30 days, you essentially win the challenge or whatever. So my business was Perry's online garage sale. Perry, Perry.
Why
Perry.
Why Perry?
Because Perry sounds like a name that I can trust, and I think that other people might think that way too.
I definitely wouldn't trust
I knew
Barry.
Perry in high school.
Was he a bird? Because it also kind of sounds like the name of a bird.
I fucking hate birds.
Full circle.
No, actually, he got attacked by a bear.
Probably because he was too honest with him. He should have lied to the bear. He maybe wouldn't have gotten eaten.
And then he got hit by a train.
No, he didn't.
I'm not fucking kidding.
Now I'm 100% convinced
Dude,
Perry
I'm
is a made-up
100%.
person.
I'll tell you the name. I'll tell you the real name later. You can probably look at the news article.
Of the guy?
Yeah, it was first.
So it wasn't Perry.
No, it was certainly Perry. I'm not kidding. I think he got attacked by a bear.
Wait, so he got hit by a train and then got attacked by a bear?
Dude,
Or he got attacked by a bear and while fleeing the bear scene, he was hit by a train?
No, there were separate events. Separate events.
By like years or just like a day?
I bet it's a year. It's probably like a year to the day. It was like.
He should stay inside on that day every year. He's gonna be walking outside and get hit by he's gonna get hit by a Boeing 747 grabbing the mail.
If this guy comes across this podcast, that's gonna be so wild.
Oh,
Because
he's not coming on because we're gonna be sitting here talking and then he's gonna get hit by a meteorite. I want nothing to do with him. Anyway, Perry's.
Nice kid, though. Nice kid,
oh, I'm
though.
sure. Yeah, he's got to be. Otherwise, he'll
I
get
wouldn't
killed.
go to his garage sale though.
This is before I knew about your Perry, the guy that keeps getting hit by things. Perry's online garage sale. This was a business where you go around and you pick up things that people maybe don't like and you put it on Facebook and market it across Facebook, and you sell it for a profit.
How many things have you sold?
Casey's like gone all of a sudden. I don't know what to do. Casey, what do we do while you're gone? Oh, okay.
I can't handle this now, Casey.
So I sold 0 things.
Okay.
And I picked up 0 things. The amount of effort that I put into Perry's online garage sale went to the extent of me creating a logo, which was it was like day 1, created a logo. Day 2, created a Facebook page.
5 people liked the Facebook
Day
page.
30, did nothing.
Okay.
Literally nothing happened.
I think the moral of this story is we.
Well, what was Luke's business?
That's true.
We should all talk about our
I have
business.
one.
I thought you had
Nothing?
like some prospects or something.
Yeah, I started, and then my thing was I realized that I had too many other projects that I just don't work on. It was really dumb of me to try start something new. In terms of a podcast, rather than spending that time,
I still think we could.
than spending time on projects and things I was already working on. So by like the 3rd or 4th day, I was like, okay, try build something from scratch and make money on it, or try work on some of the stuff I'm already working on and make money from that. And so I ditched the effort right away and was like, I'll take the L. Yeah. So I didn't do much. I didn't do it. I did stuff for like 2 or 3 days, and then I was like, okay, I'm out.
What was yours?
I came up. I originally had a different idea, but I honestly came up with like the simplest thing, that was like more like I had to put more effort in, and I was raking leaves, literally raking leaves, and it was good because I think when we started it was like October 25th, which that's the perfect fall time. There's a lot of leaves in the yard.
That is ideal, yeah.
I actually only raked. I printed like I made up a flyer on I don't know, like MacBook.
And you
pages.
handed it out to people?
Absolutely.
Who did you hand it out to?
I just went to my
that.
neighbors.
That's
I went
freaking
like, up and
awesome.
down the block, and I was just
Wow.
like, "Hey, look, I see it. Like, if their lawn was already clean, I would like skip over them." But, like,
Right. You're not
I
an
went-
idiot.
Yeah. Or you know what I could have done? Is I could have just like put leaves in their
Oh,
lawn.
yeah. There
Like,
you go.
like just rake them into the neighbor's lawn
Yeah,
and then go.
you could have
like,
started a roadkill cleaning up business and then just threw dead animals into everybody's yards. I see that you have a possum on your sidewalk. This is great timing. I just started a company.
Just like rake the leaves into the next person's yard and like,
Yeah.
go like knock on their door.
That sounds like residual income.
But so I made up a flyer, like a really like shitty flyer, and I just walked up and down my block, and I handed it out, and 4 people called me and they're like, "Yeah, how much to rake your lawn?" And I put like a price range on there, and I was like, "Oh, $30," and I raked 4 different lawns, and then I was like, "Oh well, I got a lot of other stuff going on," and I kind of forgot about it, and then I was like, kind of like towards the end, I got kind of worried again, and then I like printed off 10 more flyers and handed them out, and then like it snowed the next day.
Wait, so how many flyers did you hand out initially?
Probably like I printed off 20. I think I only handed out.
And
Like 10
what you just did you put them in their door or something like that?
like like mailbox or like front porch.
That's
or
illegal.
whatever.
That's a federal crime, actually. I had some lady tell me that once. I used to do that when people didn't answer their doors when I was door knocking. I would put it in their mailbox, and some lady called me. She's like, "Just so you know, I do not want to buy a house from you, but also, touching other people's mailbox is a federal offense, and you can get in a lot of trouble for doing it." She said, "I'm not gonna get you in a lot of trouble, but just so you know." And I was like, "Okay, boomer." So how many flyers did you hand out?
Probably 30 total.
And how many people called you off those flyers?
4.
That's not that bad.
It's a numbers.
What
game,
did you
I
make
don't know.
total?
$120.
Huh, that's not so bad.
It for the amount of work, I would say like when you think about
I mean, how many hours did you put in?
it was
2?
like, yeah, if that. Maybe a little more. It was like 45 minutes average, I would say, per yard. So, freaking 3. No.
3 hours.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
what is that? $40 an hour.
Wait, stop. No, I didn't.
That's
do
pretty
that
good.
right. No, I didn't. 45 plus 45 is an hour
90.
and a half. Okay,
Yeah, hour and a
that's
half.
3 hours.
3 hours. $40 an hour.
So I mean, I probably could have taken a lot farther, and I could have probably pivoted to like
Farther?
shoveling.
Did you say farther? Oh.
I still want to cut that. Yeah, I probably could have like pivoted and done like snow removal or whatever, but I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't put as much effort into it as I should have.
Well, clearly you put enough in because you made indefinitely more than Luke and I did.
Yeah. So why do you guys think that is? This is like a big thing.
I think yours is. I think it was because your business, like
But why didn't?
mine was a little bit more intricate. Like I could have done something. I should have done something much easier, like you did, where you give somebody a flyer, say, "Hey, I'll rake your yard." Boom, we're in, just like that. But I think that's like the difficult thing with a lot of people who try to start businesses is like they overthink it. They don't take like the small steps towards just like doing something very
just
simple.
getting started. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean I don't know.
But you also didn't pick up any items. You didn't. I don't know.
Right,
do you
and I'm not
do you
trying to
think you
make
could've-
excuses for
I was
myself.
just saying, do you think
I
you
was
could've
flat
done
out. I was lazy about it. I could have done more for sure.
Yeah,
I have
and that's
no
what I'm saying,
excuse
and
for myself. It
being
was
that
laziness.
Being that I only freaking had 30 flyers and I only actually raked 4 yards, and you know what I did? Actually, one of them I put a little thing on the bottom that said $5 off if you refer.
Oh damn.
Up like your neighbor or like or like somebody else, but I mean it didn't really come to fruition because I already handed out the flyers and I was like, well, I already gave them a flyer, but like I probably could have done a lot better if I would put more work into it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, there's ways to make money out there.
And
You know,
it's
$40
that was
an
so
hour.
easy. Yeah.
That's
Freaking-
not.
I don't know how much doctors make, but it's probably. Well, I guess they make like $200,000 a year. That's probably more. $40 an hour is like, what is that, like $75,000 a year?
I really don't know,
Yeah.
to be honest. I haven't got paid hourly since I was assistant manager at Lids. $9 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. Not so bad. It was good though. 30 days.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bad decision. I'll probably do it like once a year.
Oh yeah.
Not a cocktail.
Yep. It felt good. But you did kind of feel left out for some things. You see like friends doing fun things, and you're like, would have been nice to have been there for that.
Yep.
But I don't know. It was good.
Yeah, I think it was worth it. And boy, it's good on the pocketbook, man.
I think I actually spent more money.
I
That's what everyone's like. Oh, you must have lost weight. I was like, gained weight. They're like, oh, you must have saved money. I was like, pretty sure I spent more money
because I would be an alcoholic. Still an alcoholic.
I made it easier to justify
going out to eat and
spending my money on things. So like I'd be like up in Hermantown and I'd be like, yeah, I should pop into Best Buy and pick up a new cord or whatever I need. Yeah, a new Blu-ray player. I could use a Blu-ray player. It's it's 2007. Everyone's getting one. They're the future. So I would buy things, or I would buy clothes for myself, and I'd be like, it's fine, I saved. Think of all the money I saved from not drinking. I can just go buy this, and I'm still saving money. And at the end of the month, I was like, oh shit, I spent more money than I usually do.
I should have just been drunk.
Yeah, I should have just been drinking.
I don't buy DVD players.
Yeah, if I'm too drunk to drive myself to the store, then I don't buy anything.
No, so I would recommend the dry 30. I don't think it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
There was a little bit. I would say there was a little bit of like head clarity. I probably had maybe a little bit more energy, and I made better decisions.
The head clarity was huge for me.
Yeah.
And I just felt very physically there.
Yeah.
Bouncing all over the place. Always had energy. But.
All right, well. We'll
Casey, do you know how long we've been going?
Now an hour and 11 minutes.
Hour and 11 minutes.
Perfect.
That's not bad.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Anybody?
No.
Final thoughts on 30-day challenge. If you're looking for video work done, Casey is your dude. Casey Flipson. You can find him on Facebook. Don't forget about the silent P in the beginning of his name. Many do. Don't be one of those people.
And if you're looking to buy a house or sell your house in the near future, Luke Hansmeyer, real estate extraordinaire.
Yeah. As long as he's not taking a nap.
You can't pitch your own services on.
No, you can't. That's cheesy. That's real
If you're looking for something else to follow, Building Dream Duluth.
Ooh, there it is.
Smash that bell.
Recently,
smash that bell. Give me a like.
Smash that bell. Like and subscribe. Recently joined the Duluth Chamber as well.
We did.
I got a handful of chamber members that watch this cast.
Yeah.
They'll see you there. Look for Alex there. Go up and say, hey, I saw you on the High Five with Gage Hartman.
All 29 of your subscribers.
Okay, there's more than that.
How many do you have?
Subscribers or like followers or like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Do you have subscribers? Do you have a channel?
Yeah, we do. It's pretty sad though. I think we have like 11.
Ooh.
Yikes.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I know,
Hey,
you shouldn't have tried to throw Gage
Yeah,
under
I
the
know.
bus.
We have a pretty good. I would say we have a pretty good following on like Facebook, Instagram, but
Okay.
YouTube is not our channel.
The funny thing is that Casey has more followers than all of us on his
I
YouTube.
know.
Casey, how many followers do you have on your YouTube channel?
YouTube?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
You have like 230 or something like that.
That's oh my gosh, that's wild. Send them our way.
Yeah.
We-
You made it when you were 14 for snowboarding?
We need to do more snowboarding videos.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up.
Yep.
Awesome.
It was a good recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Casey, will you do it? Before you guys stand up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Let me do a quick.
Photos. Do a photo on mine as well.